This is very interesting. Okay, this is from
Well,
2 days ago.
you remember on
It's
The
by
View,
it's by Catherine Rampell of the Washington Post. The piece is Doug Emhoff, Modern Day Sex Symbol. And I'm going to read you some of what she writes. But you know who Catherine Rampell is? That name may ring a bell because she's the one who wrote the piece ripping Kamala's economic plan to shreds on the price gouging, saying this is ridiculous when they're accusing you of being a communist. Maybe don't propose communism as your economic plan. And she got killed by her readers on the left. So a week later, she writes this drivel trying to rehabilitate herself with the left about the current second gentleman. A man who, may I remind you, cheated on his first wife with the nanny whom he impregnated. They either aborted the child or he abandoned the child. Either way, no bueno. This is her writing about him. His most appropriate title, progressive sex symbol. Move over, Ryan Gosling. The modern female fantasy is embodied by the man who might soon become our first gentleman. Emhoff is secure enough with his own masculinity to sometimes prioritize his wife's ambitions over his own, in italics. What a hunk. Whatever his previous marital drama, that makes him the working woman's ideal partner today. He's a high-achieving alpha, but isn't threatened if his wife is too. He loves his job, but he loves his wife more. He knows that supporting one's family is about more than financial support, and that temporarily setting aside his own professional ego makes him no less of a man. The media is absolutely disgusting, Victor.
Yeah, and I remember on The View also, and also I think Joy Reid said that when J.D. Vance said that, he was trying to advocate for more white reproduction when he has biracial children. So all of that's disconnected from reality. And when they went after him on that childness, it was, and then the theme, I wasn't even the subtext, the theme was abortion, abortion, abortion at that DNC. And Trump took a big hit, remember, Megyn, from a lot of conservatives like Mike Pence, that he was willing to follow the Roe versus Wade overturn and have the states decide. And he wasn't going to have a national ban on abortion. And he said equally that for rape and incest, women should have access to abortion, but partial birth abortion or late term when the fetus was viable outside of the womb was going to be stopped, in his opinion, but he wouldn't go intervene. That was about as liberal as you could take in the Republican Party, and yet they attacked him on abortion. And the weird thing about it was, that issue is so dominant now. And you saw all of the imagery they had at the DNC about IUDs and all these weird contraptions outside. And then they kept talking about, they don't even use the word abortion. They just keep using this word reproductive rights, reproductive rights, reproductive rights. Well, it's really not about reproduction. It's about deproduction or unproduction. You're terminating the chance of reproduction. And yet they keep saying reproduction. And then you would think that the United States has a 3.5 fertility rate, but we have 1.6. And last year was almost a record year of abortions, over 1 million abortions. So here you have a situation where Donald Trump is basically as liberal as you've ever seen a Republican nominee on the issue of abortion. It's now up to the states. We've had over 1 million abortions. We've got one of the lowest fertility rates in our history. We're going to shrink. And yet they're saying that there's no abortions. It doesn't make any sense. And they hit that issue again and again and again. And I think after a while, people are going to get tired of that too, because that was the theme, and they call that freedom to reproduce. It's not. It's freedom to deproduce, and which is okay if that's what you believe in, but they're never explicit about what they want. They never use language that reflects reality on the border, on abortion, on crime, on energy. And it all represents this insecurity that they're way out of touch with the American people. And the American people have views that are diametrically opposed, and they have to be fooled. They have to be tricked. They have to be suppressed. to get elected and retain power. And they've been very good at it. But
their
maybe
only
it's time-
solution is to do that and then paint Trump as the extremist by making up his positions. They just refuse to accept. He has said it repeatedly that he does not want to legislate abortion at the federal level, that he is happy it is now a states' rights issue. Here's Trump. Well, no, we've already played this one. He believes in exception abortions. We've said that, and that it's a states' rights issue. Here was J.D. Vance just on Sunday trying to reiterate this point.
Can you commit, Senator, sitting right here with me today,
this woman's
that
obsessed
if you
with
and
abortion.
Donald Trump are elected, that you will not impose a federal ban on abortion?
I can absolutely commit that, Kristen. And Donald Trump has been as clear about that as possible. I think it's important to step back and say, what has Donald Trump actually said on the abortion question, and how is it different from what Kamala Harris and the Democrats have said? Donald Trump wants to end this culture war over this particular topic. If California wants to have a different abortion policy from Ohio, then Ohio has to respect California and California has to respect Ohio. Donald Trump's view is that we want the individual states and their individual cultures and their unique political sensibilities to make these decisions, because we don't want to have a nonstop federal conflict over this issue.
Kristen Welker is obsessed with abortion. She can't stop asking about abortion. She devotes some 2/3 of interviews sometimes to abortion. I don't know what is in her past, but this woman's got a serious thing with abortion. She loves abortion. She really wants to make sure we can have as much of it as possible. Here is Elizabeth Warren then responding to J.D. Vance with more lies.
American women are not stupid, and we are not going to trust the futures of our daughters and granddaughters to two men who have openly bragged about blocking access to abortion for women all across this country.
No, they haven't.
Right now, where we are is if Donald Trump and J.D. Vance take the White House, they have current law, the Comstock Act, which, with the right person that they put into the Department of Justice and one of their extremist judges out in the world, they can actually ban all access to abortion all across this country. And understand, when I say ban access to abortion, I don't mean with, exceptions for rape or incest or a 16-week ban. I mean ban it for every woman anytime she needs it.
They just will pretend if the truth is other than it is, Victor. They just keep pretending.
Yeah, they do. And and that's not unique on this issue. They keep doing the same thing with the Project 2025. Trump, he's sincere. He didn't know much about it. There's things in there that I've read, about 400 pages of the 900 and something pages. Some of it is very sensible. Some of it gets into some areas that I think are kind of, redundant, or they don't need to be said, or they're wrong. But he's never endorsed it. And yet they keep hammering on that. And they keep hammering and hammering and hammering. And Joe Biden did that. He said that Donald Trump, or Kamala Harris said that Donald Trump ordered or encouraged an armed mob to occupy the Capitol. Of all the people that was arrested in the Capitol, they never found one person with a firearm. And they just keep doing this big lie again and again and again.
Did you know that there is nearly $1 trillion of infrastructure and pandemic funds yet to be spent? That's right. There's a massive amount of money that the lame duck administration is pushing hard to spend in their last few months. If the president is able to push these funds out, we could see another prolonged inflation surge. And I'm sure you remember the terrible effects that the first one had on many, many Americans. Still having on many, many Americans. But there's hope. A surge in prices can be beaten. You see, a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group is the ultimate inflation hedge for your savings in uncertain times. To see how to protect your IRA or 401k, get your free info kit on gold by texting MK to 989898. Birch Gold makes it seamless to roll over your retirement account while preserving your tax-advantaged status. Don't wait for the president's spending spree to tank the dollar further. Protect your financial future right now. Text MK to the number 989898 for your free info kit from Birch Gold. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.